As you probably know, the Final Four will be right here in Houston, Texas this year, and one of the big events that will be happening that weekend is going to be a salute to Coach Guy V. Lewis luncheon. It will take place right here at the University of Houston, and one of Guy V's best players and somebody that obviously knows a lot about great basketball and great basketball coaches. One of the assistant coaches here at the University of Houston and one of the greatest players to ever don the Cougar uniform, Michael Young, joins us here. Coach, really appreciate the time. As we mentioned, the luncheon coming up April the 1st. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about the experiences you've had with Coach Guy V. Lewis?
Well, just getting back with Coach Lewis and the luncheon with all of the players coming back, you know. I think it's just going to be a great time and bringing back a lot of great memories. But I know myself as well as all of the players is going to be really happy to get all of us together with Coach Lewis again. What
do you remember about your first meeting with Coach Lewis when he recruited you?
Well, you know, he was all business. He was all about winning, but he was also all about making sure that all of his guys was taken care of, you know. But just a great guy. I know he was a father figure to all of us. You know, even if you had a dad, he was a dad away from home and just showed you how to be successful in life.
Before Coach Lewis, you met Coach Lewis, did you feel like, having played high school ball here, the University of Houston, was this where you wanted to go, or was there a player that you followed here that you thought, man, this is that attracted you to the campus, somebody that made you kind of feel like you wanted to go there?
Well, you know, when I first met Coach, you know, he was just, you know, so freely talking and soft spoken, but, you know, meant what he was saying. And I wanted to play for him. You know, I went to Yates High School right across the street here and really didn't want to go far away from my family, you know. But, you know, he really made us feel at home here. He made me feel at home, and nobody wanted to leave Houston. You know, University of Houston is a great university, and we all wanted to stay home and play for Coach Lewis.
Take us into a Coach Guy V. Lewis practice. What was it like? How hard were they, and how much did you guys get after each other, and maybe even more so than you would against the opponent?
Well, practices was harder than the game, actually. You know, first of all, Coach Lewis had a no-foul rule. He wasn't calling any fouls, you know, so we went through the drills at the beginning of the practice to get us warm. And he tossed it up, and we got after each other for about 3 hours. And I mean, practice was tough, hard. You know, maybe it was a couple fights in there. You know, but hey, that's just the way it was back then. And you know, those things brought the best out of you.
In the practice environment, who do you think of your teammates that you went up against? Who do you think brought out the best in you, or who did you like kind of going after?
Well, you know, we had a team full of great players. You know, you would have the starting five, and then you would have the next five. I mean, you had like Benny Anders, Ronaldo Thomas, Eric Dickens, Brian Williams. I mean, we got after each other every day. I mean, there was really no mismatch. The guy that you were practicing against in practice was just as good, if not better, than the guys that you were going to be competing in the actual game.
What did you take from Coach Guy V. Lewis to kind of in your own coaching style, or what did you learn from him that you've kind of applied to working with kids and helping them improve their games?
Well, just letting them know and making sure that this is something that they really want to do, because if you're going to do it and you want to be good at it, that there's a lot of work involved and you have to be committed. You know, you can't get better sitting on the couch. You got to get out there and work, even when you're not around the coaches. And Coach Lewis expected us to do that all the time. He talked to us about that, about working on our games when he was not around, you know, and that's how you develop. And, you know, just got us mentally ready, and that's what I share with the guys that we have here now.
Obviously, the national championship game is going to be played here in Houston, and on the day of the national championship game, a new class into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame will be introduced. It's still one of the things that no one can figure out down here is how Coach Guy V. Lewis is not in the Hall of Fame. If you had an opportunity to talk with the various voters and media members that will be down here, what would you say about Guy V. and why he belongs in the Hall?
Well, I mean, his record shows it for itself. If you look at his record, I mean, 5 Final Fours. I think he was the coach of the year. You know, all the players that played for him that played at the next level. And you know, just the coach that he was, his record speaks for itself. I would just like to know the people that are voting, what are they thinking? I mean, what do you have to do to get into the Hall of Fame? Coach Lewis is far past above that, whatever it would take to actually get.
Do you and your teammates and other people you talk with in basketball, do they have any theories as to why he hasn't been in?
I mean, it's a whole lot of things that's been said, you know, about, you know, never winning the Final Four. You've been to 5, but you never won it. But, you know, I've seen a whole lot of people in there that haven't even been to a Final Four that's actually in there, you know. And that's about all that I could really say. I don't have a clue why they don't have Coach Lewis in there. It's way past due.
It certainly is past due, and the place to be, April the 1st, right here at the University of Houston. Salute to Guy V. Lewis luncheon coming up right around the Final Four. Michael Young with us here on CougFans.com. Coach, we really appreciate the time.
Thanks a lot, man.
And make sure you'll be there April 1st over at the AAC, or make sure you come back right here to CougFans.com.